Hello and a very good day I bid to Dr. Kiran Kumar. We are from Group 15 and we will present about business proposal. My name is Nur Shazwani binti Kadri. My metric number is A21A202. And now we present about chapter 1, background. Behavior can be communicated with such a broad sense. However, this behavior can be categorized as motion, temperament, activity, conduct, or any activity that involves movement such as running, walking, interacting, and responding. In addition, behavior is also meant by a reaction that occurs to something, no matter if it occurs consciously or otherwise. Social issues among teenagers, particularly those attending universities, have recently reached alarming proportions. Social problems seem to arise on a daily basis without end. News reports about adolescents' misbehavior, regardless of whether the teen is enrolled in school, jobless, or employed, provide evidence of this. Teenagers today appear to believe that social issues are widespread and fail to consider the potential harm that they and other people may experience. Next, problem statement. Among the social problems that have been successfully reported are cases of bullying, rape, cycling, banishment, drug taking, and fighting. Reports made by the media of social problems for students at the university will result in the low credibility of the institution. The query: what are the primary causes of the rise in social problems among university students, as well as the behaviors of the students that lead them into social problems? The purpose of the study was to pinpoint some of the student behaviors that lead to social problems. Next is research questions. Research questions and hypothetical writing are known before any thesis or dissertation is written. The research question for this study are, for the first one is, what actions on the part of students can lead them into social problems? The second one is, what is the relationship between student behavior and social problems? And last one is, it is possible that student behavior has and causes towards social problems in universities. Next, research objectives. The purpose of the study was to ascertain how student behavior and worries about social issues relate to one another. The study was also conducted to determine the extent to which students' concerns about social issues have been impacted. The process of doing this research involves gathering data. Our research focus on university students. As a result, all of our respondents are students, whether or not they have graduated from college. Next, operational definitions. A social problem is an occurrence that has a negative impact on a large number of people. We examine data from experts who conduct research and gather information to determine whether there is a problem, on whether something is a real problem, on how bad it is. Opinions can diverge. Every community needs to address a certain issue right now. The term social issue or social problem are occasionally used to refer to this. Social issues are things that society needs to get better at.
My name is Nurul Izzati binti Rosti and my metric number is 821A3000. Next, I will discuss chapter 2, which is the lecture review. In this topic, I will touch on 4 parts that can be divided into independent variable, dependent variable, research gap, and lecture framework. First of all, dependent variable. What is dependent variable? A dependent variable is a condition where the resource can change its pattern depending on the independent variable. Our dependent variable is causes for social problems, which we study in this session. We have used 50 articles to reach this variable. The one used by us is from a writer named Arthur M. Nezu. In this journal, he said depression cannot solve social problems. In addition, there are studies that Carl Ewing has argued that social science can solve social problems through psychological methods. Our journal used by us have a connection with the causes of the occurrence of social problems among university students. Moreover, the independent variable. Our independent variable is student behavior. An independent variable is a variable that can manipulate the study done to see the effect. This variable cannot affect any the other variable because it is independent. Through this variable, we also apply 50 journals to find reliable relationship. One of them is Yuki Otomo, who stated physical activity can overcome social problems. This is because a variety of physical activities can reduce their involvement with social problems. Or the journal study have a relationship between student behavior and the causes of social problems. What about research gaps? A research gap is a topic in which there is a loss or lack of information that limits the ability to reach conclusion regarding the question being organized. For our study, the research gap faced by us is a practical gap where we need to improve the research field by strengthening the anxiety theory. We need to improve our understanding of the study with new findings. Next, the lecture framework. We found that there is a relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. Our independent variable is the behavior of students, with dependent variable causes for social problem are related to each other. Student behavior support the causes of social problems.
I'm Anisha Fika binti Shamsuddin, metric number 821-82405. I'm going to present about chapter 3, which is research methodology. 3.1 Research Design. Research design involves the organizational framework that incorporates various research methodologies and procedures utilized by researchers. The main goal of research design is to ensure that researchers collect evidence in a way that helps them understand and answer their study questions correctly and accurately. The utilization of specified designs by researchers can facilitate the formulation of research procedures that are appropriate for the given issue and ensure that the accomplishment of their studies. In this study, researchers employed quantitative data gathering technique to examine student perspective regarding the correlation between student behavior and the rise of social issue among student universities. Quantitative research means collecting and studying numbers and facts in a careful way. The use of quantitative research can be utilized to identify trends and calculate average, generate forecasts, examine cause and effect relationship, and extend findings to wider population, all of which are represented through numerical data and graphical representation. Next, there are 3 points in method and sources. The first is 3.2.1 Research Instrument. A research instrument is a specialized device utilized for the purpose of gathering and scrutinizing data pertaining to research in various academic disciplines. The research instrument employed in this study was a survey. Survey research is a fundamental approach to gathering data where a cohort of individuals is asked to provide their perspective on a certain subject or of investigation. These surveys are usually given in paper or online instead of meeting with respondents face to face. As a result, the researchers released 250 questionnaires to respondents to get feedback from them about the study of student behavior was the cause of increased social problems among students at the university. Next, 3.2.2 Measurement Scale. A measurement scale is necessary to quantify variables in the investigation. A psychologist named Stanley Stevens made 4 different ways of measuring things, which is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Every measurements have different qualities that help us understand the information we collect. We use 3 measurement scales in our research. The first one is the nominal scale. A scale of nominal is a type of measurement scale that enables researchers to categorize or assign subjects to specified categories or groups. Nominal scales are typically associated with non-numeric variables or numbers that lack inherent meaning. In this research, researchers utilized a nominal scale to categorize section A, encompassing non-mathematical variables such as example, gender, age, race, and marital status of the interviewers. Second is ordinal scale. This scale is a way of measuring something that shows how things are sequentially arranged, yet does not tell us how large each other's differences are. In section A, researchers utilize an ordinal scale together and they differentiate each respondent based on factors such as their level of education and a current year of study. The last one is interval scale. Interval scale such as how to measure something in a particular way. In a study, researchers utilize a 5-point Likert scale to assess portions B and C, providing respondents with 5 distinct options to select from. Likert scale is a tool that helps people ask questions and understand what others think about something. The diagram above is a 5-point Likert scale used in this survey question. The last method and sources is pre-testing instrument. An essential goal of the pre-test questionnaire is to comprehend the reasoning behind the responses, enabling auditors to accurately evaluate whether the questionnaire is complete correctly, if the respondent truly understood the question, and if the question aligned with the auditor's intention. Next, we move to the 3.3, which is sampling. The first one is population of the study. Study populations are a subset of target population available for study. The population in this study was all people who had been a student. Our population targets are all students because they have been through a situation where student behavior will influence a person to get caught up in social problems. Next, sample size. Sample measurements such as the total number of teams of all people that were seen in research or experimentation. We asked 250 people to assist us in this research by filling out the research form we provide on the internet. The last one is sampling method. The sample method employed in this investigation was the sample random sampling method. This is because obtaining a sample directly from the population is more convenient. Researchers could incorporate individuals who were present at the given moment. This methodology enables researchers to collect information swiftly and effectively. 3.4 Analysis Plan. Descriptive statistic is required of those who pose questions to others to explain the methods of inquiry. Information they must provide includes their age, gender, race, marital status, level of study, and current year of study. Next is a reliability test. In this study, the alpha reliability of the dependent and independent variables was used to measure their internal consistency. Lastly is the Pearson correlation. In this study, Pearson correlation coefficient was used to check whether students' behavior could cause more social problems to occur among those and other students at the university. We move to the data analysis in demographic profile. I choose one of the demographic profile that used in this survey. The table and chart 3.5.2 show the age of the interviewers. The interpretation of that diagram is of all the people asked, about 10.4% of the 250 of interviewers were between the age of 18 and 20. Most people, about 80.8% of the total interviewers, are between the age of 21 and 23. Smaller numbers, about 6%, are between the age of 24 and 26, and only a small number, about 2.8% of every 250 respondents were older than 27. Next, we move to the data analysis in independent and dependent variables. I choose 1 out of 10 independent variable, which is the attitude of students who are too light to entertain can push towards social problems. The analysis of the diagram is 35.6% of interviewers agreed that students who enjoy entertaining too much play have an attitude that contributes to social problems. 53.2% of interviewers strongly agree that with the statement. 7.2% of interviewers were neutral, 3.2% of interviewers disagree, and only 0.8% of interviewers strongly disagree. Next, 1 out of 10 dependent variable is the negative influence of peer can encourage students at university to get involved in social problems. The analysis of that diagram is 36.8% of the interviewers agreed that the negative influence of peer can encourage students at university to get involved in social problems. 58.4% of the interviewers strongly agree with that statement. Only 4.4% of them are neutral about that statement. 0.4% of the interviewers strongly disagree with that statement. Next, 3.7 hypothesis testing. The first is reliability test. The table shows the cross-match alpha that used in our variables. Cross-match alpha is a way of measuring how far a group of things relate to each other. It tells us if all things in the test or scale measure the same thing. The table shows that correlation between student behavior and causes for social problems. There is a positive correlation movement in the same direction between the causes of social problems and student behavior. This is because when one variable rises and the other rises, or when one variable falls and the other falls, there is a positive correlation. Next is regression test. In research done, the Durbin-Watson value is 2.104, indicating that the variables have autocorrelation and are significant based on t-values, beta values, and R-squared test. With a significant value of 0.000, the hypothesis that student behavior influences the root causes of social problems is accepted. Last but not least, the table shows ANOVA with Fleischmann test. One way ANOVA is a way to compare information about different groups. We use it when we have data about different categories and want to see if there are any differences between them.
Next, I will present chapter 4. For the first one is introduction. In this chapter, we'll discuss whether there is a link between student behavior towards social problems among students at the university. This research was to determine whether student behavior could impact the rise in social problems among students at the university. This study is important because it will assess the extent to which student behavior can influence social problems in universities nowadays. Next, findings. This study examines the behavior of students, which is the root cause of the increase in social problems among students across universities in Malaysia. It emphasizes awareness to students to understand that a student's behavior affects social problems that have become more prevalent today. The study also highlights the role about moral education programs in improving students' understanding and awareness of social problems.
Research contribution. Through research conducted, we found that the behavior of students can certain factors can influence their involvement with social problems. Our respondents agree with our opinion on the matter. We used Google Form to get feedback from respondents. Our respondents consisted of university students, regardless of public institution or private institution, including STPM and graduate students. That's all from us, Group 15. Thank you.